Dear perceptive reader, even I didn't realize just how important TikTok is. Thank you for being here on this brief consulted moment talking about TikTok. A few weeks ago, I mentioned how, yes, I'm still, banned from TikTok. And I put the brief reason of, just false statements that were said about James to get me banned. But still, even while that's being the case, I want to share what my thoughts are about TikTok being banned. Before I get into those reasons, and still what my conclusion would be as far as a consultant, is this a report. And this came from somebody who was way across the world in Italy. And they've been using TikTok and apparently, get a lot of fans and views. That's one of the things that I told you I did notice. It didn't take me long at all when I even first started using TikTok about maybe a year ago. I still, never really used it that much, but it seemed like even then I was able to pick up hundreds of regular viewers, if not more, before that accusation came in that got me banned on TikTok indefinitely. But they made it sound like they won't gonna never open it back up. We're all the same. What this person mentioned, even way from Italy, is that TikTok, even as a company, has provided not only a lot of money or better quality of life for people who didn't have it before, he said, but the results basically from some of those videos had placed smiles on people's faces that weren't there before either. And I do know that to be the case. You'll hear somebody cracking up sometimes. It's like, oh, they're watching a TikTok video, And one thing about any product or service, remember, that's what it's supposed to do. Put food in our belly or edify our minds. You see what I'm saying? Or just be able to enjoy the fruits of our labor in life. And so recently, over the past week or so, this thought just kept coming to my mind where I just said, man, you just got a lot of killjoy type of motives out here all the time. When it comes to companies in the first place, let's just face it. TikTok is very popular. And from that report, from what this one YouTuber was just talking about, it's very lucrative. And even over in the United States, and this is what I didn't know, but it makes sense. But it's way more than even 1 million users that make money off of TikTok by even sharing their products and things of that nature. I didn't even, think about that. But see, that's the case. And I told you, it kind of makes it makes you laugh sometimes because it was the same thing that I told you that happened with YouTube. It seems like every time there's some type of resource out here in the world that can even go fast enough to get by the killjoyers or what have you at times. I'm gonna talk the way I feel about it. That then they find some way to restrict it, shut it down, or shut that individual down. So, let me stick to the subject because I'm ready to go and really elaborate again on my situation, but I'm not going to do that. What I wanted to still zoom in on was what he was saying about by the ban now being in the United States of America. Is this the only country that it's banned in? That's what I'm wondering about. And also, there's a new operating system. I don't know what it's called, humane or human. I have to look that back up. That China has now really, perfected on the same level as Microsoft Windows. and they plan on, you know, of course, having everybody in China have their own operating system. And yet at the same time, they want the kind of get into the market around the world. See, I'm mentioning this for a reason, because what they still did, this is getting into the area of security, because see, that was the argument about TikTok. And see, this is what I want to address. So TikTok is banned because they're saying it's being used in a way of spying on people. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what they're saying. My statements last week is that when you look at TikTok anyway, or any app in the Play stores, they all have features that can access every part of your phone if you allow it. Now, apparently, because of maybe stuff on another level of what they're thinking about, maybe espionage, spying in that way, or what have you. What I was still stating is it can be done with any app, really, with any app. The equipment that they have today, etc. But all the same, maybe it's something with their operating system in particular, or something, as if it makes it sound like that, no, they really got it hooked up like almost like a mainframe. See, this is my feeling that I'm getting from them, that yeah, it's like almost like it's masking what it really is. You see what I'm saying? But I still make the same argument that every app still works the same way. It still has access in the same way. And so the difference is this company happens to be in what? Another country. And so let me tell you still about with China and the new operating system that they have perfected. I told you, even on a level that's equal, or they would, argue or state even better than Windows, because of the way that you can still get the same feel and features from any device that you have, tablet, phone, desktop computer, laptop. It'll all look the same. From what I understand, there's not a lot of apps yet, only maybe a few thousand, but all the same, that's what they're promoting. And they still, see, this is what I want to talk about security. Now, this is their operating system that was built on top of, I don't know whether it was Android, whether it was who knows, maybe I'll write something with this. But all the same, even with their perfected operating system that they have now, that they feel pretty good about, they are still, guess what, willing to leave it as open source. So if something is open source, anybody, but in particular programmers and developers, can look into the different modules, the coding and everything else, to see how they can even make a better app to work with it. Now, if that's not telling you how everything can be open to throw in a back door, what have you, then nothing is. But see, that goes to show you again the confidence of China's tech or security in IT. You see what I'm talking about? They realized what they still were going to do, but you better believe they got their top technicians, top IT people, engineers, architecture, and stuff like that, that they know between that software that they created. You see, and of course, on the hardware, but all the same, they could still have confidence that they can manage the operating system on such a level that even with the open source, nobody will really be able to throw a bug or something like that in there that they can't track down. I gave you all the information to show you that's the same thing that could be done with TikTok. Same way. And from what I understand, the way the president or owner of TikTok talks, when he had to go before Congress or that board or what have you, he gave the impression that that's what they were already doing. Now, for some reason, I guess somebody didn't believe it, but unless somebody really want to do, from what I understand, there's been persons putting in bids left and right in the United States to try to buy TikTok and then make it so that, okay, we got it over here. You see, when I hear that, it still reminds me, and I'm not going into details on this, but it reminded me of some of the practices even back in the 80s that was done with, I think, 80s or 90s, that was done with Apple, that was done with Microsoft. It's just a pattern that some people have picked up, and they know. They know that sometimes the motive isn't exactly what's being stated. I'm just going to tell you like it is. Yeah, that's what people pick up. So with that being said, there's a many ruthless, underhanded cutting business practices that still go on all the time. And that's one of the reasons why I mentioned statescraft. Yeah, they got another word that I told you they like to use all the time, talking about lawfare. I personally don't like that word, so I'll never use it. But the statescraft is still, you see, developing a special interest or complaint one way or the other. You see, for your purposes of this, but you make sure you're lobbying different representatives in the government to sway more towards your way of thinking. Now, that happens, and then that's all I'm going to talk about on that. But as far as with TikTok, if they're worrying about the spying, if they're worrying about the security, the same argument can be said for everything that we have anymore today. And it really can, for everything. And I'm not going to even give you more details towards that. So that's why it's more to it, and hopefully it's really, if they're banning it, it's really more than just trying to stop maybe a takeover, because of the simple fact, or to start a takeover or whatever. When that one person was talking about Italy, that a lot of people make money even over in the United States, and now that they're banned from it, what is that going to do for their business? What is that going to do for, as we would say, getting the baby some milk? What is that going to do, again, for those extra funds that they were able to pay for, whether it was something medically, whether it was enhancing their minds through master classes, reading, enjoying a night on the town? You see, any matter of that nature. So, one thing that people normally try to do when it comes to security is it's like, hey, it's just a principle. You don't place no more security on an item than what's really necessary. And so the whole point is this. I'm still looking at it from what TikTok has done overall for people, has done overall. And in this case, does it really outweigh the complaint of the spying apparatus or modules in there that can do this or that? I don't know. But maybe I'll listen to the video more. Either way, take care, Perceptive Reader.